What's that way? Court calls the case People versus Robin Finney.
Your Honor, Alexis Plumai on behalf of Ms. Finney, who is approaching. Ms. Finney, could you just say your full name?
Yes, Robin Lee Finney.
Thank you. And Your Honor, we are just asking for a brief adjournment for plea negotiation purposes. And I am not asking to address bond.
Shocking. Probable cause conference will be adjourned to July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wow. Court calls the case People versus James Lee Harbin.
Kedma Dadush on behalf of Mr. Harbin, who is appearing by Zoom. Mr. Harbin, can you please state your name for the record?
James Lee Harbin, H-A-R-B as in boy I-N.
Your Honor, we are requesting an adjournment so we can continue plea negotiations with the prosecution, please. Already did it.
Where is he held?
He's at St. Joe's.
At St.
Yeah.
George.
Yes.
He's at
Got it. That's the reason for the Zoom.
Valley, I forget the Villa, sorry. Let me get the exact name. Villa at Park Ridge.
Got it.
The rehab center.
July 24th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Thank you.
Court calls case of the People versus Frank Clark.
Kedma Dadush on behalf of Mr. Clark, who should also be appearing by Zoom. Mr. Clark, can you state your name for the record?
Frank Clark.
Your Honor, we are requesting a 1-week adjournment. We have a resolution on this case. We just need 1 more week to finalize that.
I'm not going to do it that way. Probable cause conference, he's out of custody, will be July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continues.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case of the People versus Kyle Humphreys.
And Assistant Public Defender Nicholas Bukovich appearing on behalf of Ms. Humphreys in both matters. There should be 2 cases, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, I'll be requesting a brief adjournment to obtain outstanding video discovery in the case that ends in 0889, and I would be requesting to address bond briefly.
Did Plumai put you up to this?
No, Your Honor.
No, go ahead. I will adjourn these out to the 17th, 2025, 9 a.m. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. In the case that ends in 0889, Mr. Humphreys currently has a PR bond. From my conversation with my client, I do believe he'll be held based upon his bond in his other case. So I'll just be requesting a nominal cash bond to allow him to obtain time for credit.
Which case is he on?
In the case 0907, he has indicated to me that he cannot currently post that bond. In case 0889, he currently has he was granted a personal reconnaissance bond, so I'll just be asking for a nominal cash bond to allow him to get credit for time served in both matters. I would also be asking for a release to treatment in both cases, and I understand the court would like an order filed with that.
Just filed an order to say about release anybody to treatment if that's what they want. I'm not going to have a problem with that unless there's some objection. Just get a stipulation to do that.
Yep, and I will get that to the court as soon as possible, Your Honor.
All right, so I will adjourn the matter to the, I'll adjourn this matter to July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. With reference to his bond in case 09 or 0889, I will reset his bond to a $1,000, 10% off. Okay. All right, so that he receives credit. He'll have to. Thank you. Court does call the case People versus Sean Cotton.
A.P.A. Richard McDuffie for the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Nicholas Bukovich on behalf of Mr. Cotton, who should be appearing via Zoom.
Mr. Cotton, please state your name.
John Cotton.
Your Honor, at this time, we'll be requesting an adjournment to for the client to pay some restitutions toward his offer.
PCC will be adjourned July 17th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continues. Court does call the case of People versus Chad Jones.
Please state your name for the record.
Chad Jones.
Your Honor, we are requesting a brief 1-week adjournment for a global resolution. The prosecutor needs 1 more week to get in contact with 1 witness. So we have 2 on board. They just need 1 more.
Some green sheet.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to get it all accomplished in 1 week, so I'm not going to be back here and then ask you for another week.
Yes, Your Honor, everything is set except for one thing, and once that's addressed, be set.
Probable cause conference will be adjourned to July 10th, 2025 on all 4 cases, or 3 cases. 9 a.m. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court does call the case of the People versus Donovan Dronkowski.
A.P.A. Richard McDuffie for the people.
Also move basically on behalf of Mr. Dronkowski, but not with him, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I have not had contact with my client. I'm unsure of his whereabouts at this time.
Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond is set in the amount of $10,000 cash surety. That warrant will issue immediately.
Your Honor.
Court does call the case People versus Daniel Franklin.
Andrew Field is appearing on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, man. Please, this Honorable Court, Kareem Johnson, appearing on behalf of Mr. Franklin.
Your name, sir?
Daniel Franklin.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing on this case?
I spoke with Mr. Johnson. I don't know what has been, so I believe he has been tendered discovery, and I think we're just looking to set this matter for an examination.
Is that a correct statement, Mr. Johnson? You'd like this
Yes.
matter set for prelim?
Yes, Your Honor, and we're asking that the prelim be set out a ways. I believe the people will be calling a cooperating witness who is in federal custody because of the likelihood that this witness may become unavailable down the road. I will be asking for the people to present any and all information they have relevant to cross-examination under US v. Giglio. And I think the people may need some time to get that. And I don't know if the people are even in possession of the federal indictment in which this witness is cooperating under and giving this testimony. But I would like to have that before exam as well.
Your Honor, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with setting this matter out. As the court may remember, Mr. Franklin is being held on another homicide case that is pending before Judge Conlon with a trial date well into the fall. The reason.
So why am I setting it for exam if everything's not ready?
This cooperating witness is currently being held at FCI Milan. The moment we have an examination date, I can give a writ to them. They won't transport him. Otherwise, it sounds like he's going to eventually go to West Virginia, and I'd like to have that writ before the Bureau of Prisons transports him out of the state. So the date,
especially to West Virginia, because people don't come back. No, I'm kidding. I love West Virginia.
I don't know.
Okay.
And so that would be the reason I know. And as I spoke, Mr. Johnson and I spoke yesterday, and I believe we're on the same page.
All right. So to get accomplished everything, how much time are you guys looking at? I get why you want a date out. I'll set the exam, but
perhaps I don't know what the court's availability is. I'm looking into kind of August.
Mid-August. I can do August 12. I can give you a prelim date on August 12th.
That works for the people, that works for Mr. Johnson.
Your Honor, on August 12th, I have another homicide exam in the Lansing District Court.
Gotcha. Well, that's my only set PE date in that date. Did you want me to kind of give you a Monday and that way more flexibility to do that?
August 11th, if the court is available that day, that would be perfect for me, Your Honor.
Monday would be fine, and just for the court scheduling purposes, I wouldn't expect this to be something that would take more than half a day. So that'll be a full day examination.
That's okay. So what I'll do is I'll just put it on my docket. I should have asked, do I have the 11th available? And if we don't pick a jury selection in the morning, so I can set it in the afternoon. Oh, I did set it in order to. Okay. All right. I can do Monday the 18th. Will that work for you, Mr. Johnson?
I'll be at a jury trial in the Washtenaw County Circuit Court on the 18th, Your Honor.
No way. No, I'm kidding.
The 25th works for me if that works for the court.
No, because I'm gone. Right. Well, August, I know it's going the other direction, but would August 4th work?
I think August, at least from the people's perspective of getting the information, Mr. Johnson, August 4th would work for us.
Mr. Johnson, August 4th work?
I will be in trial August 4th, Your Honor.
The whole day?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, give him a Tuesday. I don't know what Johnson's schedule is. I don't know why I'm setting around Johnson anyway.
My other view on is if we could set it on a Tuesday, perhaps that 12, knowing that we would then get closer to the date and perhaps talk with the court about a skip to move it. As long as I have the date to hold this witness, I don't care if we move it. I can send it.
Why don't I do this then? And then this way you can kind of figure it out, and then we can move it to give you more flexibility in terms of dates, because then we'll be able to figure out my dates a little bit. I'm going to set it on July 22nd. Okay. With the understanding that you guys may have to move it, but then we'll move it on my docket.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So preliminary examination in person will be set July 22nd, 2025. That's at 12 noon.
Yes.
So that's an afternoon prelim docket or PE docket for me. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Johnson, I'll contact you early next week and we can go over
Yes, sir.
everything, okay?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Court calls case of the People versus Dave Ellington.
Assistant Public Defender Nina Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Ellington, who's approaching now. Your Honor, Mr. Ellington will be waiving his right to a preliminary exam. I'd ask if the people would place the offer that was extended on their record. Today.
Your Honor, Mr. Ellington is part of the financial transaction advice. Without authorization, the offer is.
The offer is 2 and a 10. Is that your understanding?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
And sir, you're waiving your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand that that's a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes, sir.
You understand you will not have that hearing and that you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, sir.
People also waive their right?
Okay.
People also waive their right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on a single count.
Your Honor, we would acknowledge receipt of the information, waive formal reading. My client would stay mute.
Defendant having waived for reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial in this matter will be set
August 8th, 2025 at 1:30 with Judge Simpson.
August 8th, 2025, 1:30, Judge.
No, you're good. This is just your notice.
Oh,
Bond continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Court calls case of the people versus Jaleesa McDowell.
Your Honor, Amy Reiser is going to be testifying.
Your Honor, Student Attorney Kara Rosengren requesting permission to practice under Michigan Court Rule 8.120 under the supervision of APD Hannah Apple on behalf of Ms. McDowell.
Okay, permission to practice is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Dr. Could you say your name for the court, please?
Jaleesa McDowell.
Thank you. All right.
Your Honor, we would like to request the court set a date for exam in this matter, please.
All discoveries complete.
Yes, Your Honor.
People have their witnesses available the 15th?
Yes, July 14th.
Yeah, July 15th. Will that work?
Yes. And I'd like to address the issue of bond.
Preliminary examination in person will be set July 15th, 2025. 9 a.m. That is before Judge Moore. As to bond.
Thank you. Your counsel has been provided with several of the defendant's jail calls. And we're asking that her calls be revoked at this time. She's actively trying to have third parties contact the minor child in this case to have her recant. So we're asking that her jail calls be revoked and if necessary, a date be set for a hearing.
Your Honor, I've listened to the calls myself, and while in some regards, Ms. McDowell does talk about her case to people, she very rarely makes requests. Her tone is not demanding or threatening or coercive.
Rarely makes requests?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about a request in general, Your Honor. So, but there are a lot of conversations, and for the most part, her tone is not demanding or threatening or coercive in any way. And mostly she's just talking and trying to communicate with her mother, her grandmother, and her cousin and other family members.
But are there indications that not only, because those would be third-party contacts, but is there an indication where in any reasonable fashion it could be read she's making a request for somebody to recant their story?
Your Honor, I believe that in most of the situations and most of the phone calls that we heard, she wasn't making requests as much as just expressing how she was feeling about certain issues with her grandmother and her mother and the people who are taking care of her children right now.
It really doesn't answer my question, but that's fine.
We did meet with Ms. McDowell yesterday. We talked about that. I will say Ms. McDowell was very candid. We went through some of the phone calls together. Her understanding, she had no intent to disobey the court's order. She's not in any way trying to intimidate or coerce anyone to come to court or to not come to court. Her position is that she has other children involved. She was getting messages that these children are left unattended at her home. She's very concerned about the safety for them. That has now been resolved. After my conversation with McDowell, she even said, I don't plan to be on the phone anymore. I was never trying to disobey the court's order. That was not my intent, but obviously she has concerns for the safety and well-being of other children that are currently, they now are placed with someone that she knows, and she does not have that same concern for their safety and well-being at this time.
If I could, John, provide an offer of proof, just an excerpt from one of the calls.
Yes.
This is the defendant speaking on June 19th, 2025. She's got mental problems. Me and Melanie don't speak because she done it for $300 worth of damage in her house. I think you all will speak up for me and share her stuff too. Like, that's not fair. That's at 2:11 in the call. And at 5:08 in the call, the defendant says, I probably could get her a ride to court like that. I know I can get unintelligible. Who she's speaking with, I believe it's the grandmother. Let me give her a ride. Let me get her a ride. I'll take Talisa out there. Let me give her a ride out there. The defendant. What are you talking about? Is she really coming to the court? And the grandma said, we haven't talked about that. We haven't talked about that. And the defendant responded, no, you got to talk to her about that, Mom. And I could go on and on.
Seems enough for me. Motion to revoke defendant's phone privileges is hereby granted. Defendant's phone privileges are hereby revoked. You can always ask for a hearing on that. All right. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Court calls the case People versus Darius Grady.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amy Advisor appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Roba Hamden requesting permission to practice pursuant MCR 8.120 under the supervision of First Assistant Public Defender Jay Ballinger.
How's that going?
It's going well.
Is it?
I think so.
Is he treating you okay?
You know.
Okay, we'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
Permission to practice is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm here with and on behalf of Darius Grady. Can you please state your name for the record?
Darius Grady.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, we are asking for a 3-week adjournment on this matter, awaiting a mitigation letter.
And no objection to that adjournment.
Probable cause conference will be adjourned to July 24th, 2020.
Was that July
22nd, 2025. You know, did you catch the other one?
Yeah.
All right. July 22nd, 2025, 9 a.m. That's a Tuesday. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all your fault. Calendar. Court calls the case People versus Damon Bransford.
And Assistant Public Defender Nicholas Bukovich on behalf of Mr. Bransford, who's now approaching. Bransford, can you please state your name for the record?
Damon Bransford.
I'm Your Honor, requesting a brief adjournment. Mr. Bransford was interviewed by the Drug Treatment Court people this Monday, so we're just waiting for a response to that.
Will a response you believe come before the 17th?
I believe we should be able to get a response by the 17th, Your Honor.
All right. Probable cause conference, July 17th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continue. Court calls case People versus Cortez Gray.
Good
Oh, boy.
morning, Advisor on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hannah Mackey requesting permission to practice under Michigan Court Rule 8.120 under Public Defender Tortio Feaster.
Showing up in that North Carolina blue. He doesn't even understand why that makes my eyes go red. Permission to practice is granted. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are requesting an adjournment in this matter. We were unable to get in contact with Mr. Gray, but now we have his correct phone number.
July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sport. What? Oh, I'll explain later. The whole North Carolina thing, like Tar Heels. You know what a Tar Heel is? Okay, that's why. Court calls case People versus Devontae Jackson.
Good morning, Your Honor. McKenna, this is requesting attorney.
And Alex Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, like, what is this?
Mr. Jackson, can you state your name for the court?
Javante Jackson.
Your Honor, today's the date and time for probable cause conference. At this time, we are asking the court to set the matter for preliminary examination.
All discovery is complete?
I believe so, Your Honor.
And would the people have their witnesses available on the 15th? Preliminary examination in this matter in person will be set July 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. That is before Judge
Washington.
Judge Washington. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll talk to you soon, Javante.
Court calls case People versus Suzette Hampton.
Stephanie Cannon on behalf of Ms. Hampton, who's appearing to the right. Ms. Hampton, could you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Suzette Hampton. Yeah.
Your Honor, we're just asking for a 2-week adjournment on this matter for negotiation purposes.
July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continue. Thank you.
Do you need?
Court calls case of the people versus Paris Lester.
Tim Adadish on behalf of Mr. Lester. Can you state your name for the record?
Paris Alexander Lester.
You're requesting an adjournment.
We are requesting an adjournment, and I sent a motion to modify bond conditions to get him released into treatment, Your Honor.
You did it by motion as opposed to stipulation.
I believe it was a stipulation. I just
Pardon?
worded it differently. I believe it was a stipulation.
Really?
Yes, it has.
Those are signed by both sides. It's okay. Is there any objection to their motion? Okay, I'll grant your
Thank you, Your
motion.
Honor. Yeah.
Probable cause conference will be adjourned July 17, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond will continue.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Court calls case People versus Marcus Harris.
And Alex Warren Green on behalf of Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris, can you
How you
state your
doing,
name?
Mr. Simpson? Marcus Harris.
I'm doing okay.
I seen you guys.
What'd you say?
It's been a minute since I seen you, but how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
You're back.
Been a while, but yeah, I'm here for the moment.
And you're like, so the last time you were here, were you allowed to wear shorts in my courtroom?
No.
No, right?
Should I put on to get here, put some on to get my butt up in? Because last time I was here, you took me to the back for coming late. That was a while ago, so I'm sorry about that. I will make adjustment on this the next time.
You don't know?
Oh, be good.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor.
You will.
I'm asking the court to set this matter for a preliminary exam.
All discovery is complete.
So, Your Honor.
People have their witnesses available the 15th.
Do my best, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person will be set July 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. before Judge Moore. Bond continued.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed one, Mr.
You take care of yourself. Court calls the case People versus Ahmad. Is it McWally?
I'm sorry. Thank you, Rich McDuffie for the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Jay Bellinger on behalf of Mr. Matwali, who approaches. Mr. Matwali, can you please state your name for the record?
Ahmad Matwali.
And Your Honor, if we may briefly approach on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other, I've received and reviewed the report. Are there any other additional?
No other proofs, Your Honor, from the defense.
Nothing from the people we said last time.
All right. Based upon the report, and the court has reviewed that report, the court would find that the defendant is at this time competent to stand trial, would specifically find that the defendant can understand the nature and objects of the proceedings against him and can rationally assist in his defense. Therefore, the defendant is deemed competent. And you wish this matter set for preliminary or for PCC, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. One more extended PCC, and I imagine at that time we'll probably be waiving up to circuit court.
I'll set a probable cause conference in this matter for, given the circumstance you explained, I can, the 22nd or the 29th, or 22nd or the 31st.
22nd.
My client is asking for the 22nd, Your Honor.
Got it. Probable cause conference, July 22nd, 2025. That's at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond continue. Thank you.